Happy holidays! I will be sharing with you holiday recipes for every week leading up to Christmas. Our first recipe is jollof pasta with tofu. Enjoy. Step 1. Prep the tofu. I have some tofu I've bought locally. I'm just going to put this in an air fryer for 3 to 4 minutes at 180 degrees until it browns. You can use firm tofu, extra firm tofu you get from your grocery store, or you can buy this locally if you're in Nigeria like me. So we're going to put that in the air fryer. Ta-da! All done. I'm going to set this aside and we're going to move on to the next item. Stage 2, prepare the base sauce. I'm going to start off by adding 2 tablespoons of water to 100 grams of tomato paste. I'm just going to stir this carefully. This is just to thin out the paste because we're going to be frying this, and if it's too thick, it's not going to fry properly. So I'm just going to give that a good stir to make sure everything is properly combined. You know what I love the most about this recipe? It's so easy. It comes together quickly. So if you're hosting any holiday dinners or any holiday lunches and someone says, oh, I'm plant-based or I'm vegan now, I can't have any meat, you don't have to think, oh my god, I need to chop some veggies, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's a full meal and it's vegan and anyone can enjoy it, even those who are not plant-based. Okay, so for the next bit, we're going to heat up a pan on low heat and we're going to pour about 4 tablespoons of any neutral or preferably vegetable or canola, something light, and add half a teaspoon of minced garlic and half a teaspoon minced ginger, and I'm going to add quarter of a small onion. You can add a bit more if you want, and I'm just going to stir this on low heat for about 1 minute. Just going to saute this a bit. Then I'm going to go in with that tomato paste. Now, because of the water content, it's going to splatter a bit. So we're just going to cover this halfway. Don't cover the pan fully, just cover it halfway to fry for about 2 minutes. And, we open up the pan and we stir. And the tomato paste is frying now. I'm going to cover again for another 2 minutes to fry. Okay, now it's time to add spices. We're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of curry powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to stir this. We're going to go ahead with our seasoning cubes. We're going to use any seasoning cubes of your choice. Then we're going to go ahead with about 2 tablespoons of oil to loosen things up a bit and just aid that frying process. If you're familiar with jollof fries or jollof pasta or jollof recipes generally, you know they also add like tomatoes and fresh bell peppers. This recipe doesn't have any of that. I mean, you could add tomatoes towards the end, but it's done deliberately. The thing about holiday recipes is because it's holiday, it should have that festive feel. But once you master the technique, you have that elevated experience with your dishes, and you can still have really accessible dishes. So at this point, your sauce base should be on frying. You want to make sure it has a sweet and intense, salty as well flavor, but it should not be sour. Next stage is adding the tofu to the sauce. I'm just going to stir this for about 2 minutes and just allow the tofu to sit in the sauce to soak in, all that flavor. Tofu is like a sponge. It absorbs the flavor whatever you cook it in. Then you just take it out. Try to get as much of the sauce away from the tofu because we need it for our pasta. And you want to be careful so the tofu doesn't, break, because at this point it's soft. Okay, stage 4 now. Let's boil our pasta. We're going to bring water to boil in a small to medium pot. You want to make sure the water covers about 2/3 of the pot. Then I'm going to go ahead with a teaspoon of oil, this to make sure the pasta doesn't stick together. I'm going to add a generous pinch of salt. You should always salt your pasta water for that maximum flavor. Just give that a little stir and go in with our pasta. We're using spaghetti, dried spaghetti, 200 grams of pasta, and that's about a little over a serving. So I'm just going to let the pasta cook and it's going to go down on its own. If you're feeling a bit impatient, just give a little push, but I personally do not like to break my pasta, and just make sure it doesn't stick to the side of the pot because it starts to burn. We're going to cover the pot halfway so it doesn't spill over and cook that for about 7 to 8, 9 minutes until it's almost done, and move on to the next stage, stage 5, which is making the jollof pasta. So we're going to drain the pasta and add it to the sauce. Give that a good stir. Then add a few tablespoons of the pasta water to deglaze the pan and also loosen up the dish. I'm going to stir until well combined. Remember to always taste as you cook. We're going to add pasta water as needed, continuously as the dish is coming together. Now it's time to bring back the sauce tofu into the dish. Going to stir gently to ensure everything is well combined. This is also a good time to add any chopped tomatoes as the dish is almost ready. Now our dish is almost ready, but we have one final step until we begin to wrap things up. In a small saucepan, add a tablespoon of oil to the pot on low heat. We're going to add 2 bay leaves and stir gently. We're going to do this for about 60 to 90 seconds. Then add both the oil and the leaves to the pasta dish. We're going to stir this gently. At this point, our dish is almost ready. We're going to adjust for seasoning, for salt, and pasta water as needed. You can also add 1 teaspoon of chili powder. This is optional. End of stage 5. Okay, stage 6, final step. Garnish and serve the dish. I'm going to go ahead and garnish with some chopped spring onions. Serve hot. Okay, that brings us to the end of this recipe. This is the first of a couple of recipes I'll be sharing this holiday season. Make sure to check in next week to see what recipes we will be sharing for the holiday season. Thank you for watching. Remember to save this recipe and share. It's the holidays. We could all use some holiday cooking inspo. Leave a comment and subscribe as well. Till next week, love, Amal.